you talk about the own finance, it takes so much time. It's not. Most of the banks today, they have all the data. I can tell you, we understand how the income is coming. We have better visibility. It's very important that for all the customers, that their liability cannot exceed 50% of their income.
Welcome to the Lovin Real Estate series presented by Taraf, where we share insights into the developments and decisions shaping real estate in the UAE. From market booms to luxury living and smart investment strategies, we explore the trends shaping the future of real estate. Every episode, we sit down with industry leaders and experts to break down the biggest questions in the property world. And in today's episode, we're talking all things mortgage eligibility, how it's calculated, how you can increase it, and how options do exist if you don't have the full 20% down payment. Whether you're buying your very first home or planning to invest in high-value property, understanding your financing options is key. And so, joining us today is Mr. Elie Hayek, Head of Mortgage Business at ADIB. He's here to break down what first-time buyers need to know and how smart financing can unlock premium properties like the W Residences and Karl Lagerfeld Meydan by Taraf, and also the practical steps to turn your home ownership dreams into a reality. Let's kick it off.
I'm very privileged and happy to be with you today. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. To begin, can you walk us through the basics? What does home finance eligibility mean? Why is it so crucial to understand before you start your house hunting journey?
Absolutely. See, Casey, the eligibility refers to the criteria mainly which define and determine if that individual can opt the mortgage, yes or no. So it varies, obviously, but at the same time, we need to understand if the individual qualifies for that, and if so qualify, what will be the amount. That's very, very, very important at this initial stage. And important to note also, Casey, that it's very important to be equipped with the pre-approval. That gives the buyer and the seller and the developer as such level of confidence that the buyer is having a pre-approval, he understands his limit, he's narrowed his search, and then he can move with better of confidence whenever he's searching for a property.
Amazing. And I guess the key question people have is, how is it calculated? And what are the key factors banks like ADIB look at?
Like most of the banks, and ADIB look at the key factor normally which drives the eligibility. For example, first, when the most important is income versus liability. So we defined the income of the customer, and then we need to understand well his liabilities. Credit scoring plays a major role, the property value, and the down payment. It's very important that for all the customers to know and to mention that their liability cannot exceed 50% of their income. If your salary or income or business income is 30,000 dirhams, your liability cannot exceed with the mortgage 15,000. So just to make it simple for everyone.
Okay, and so are there practical steps I could take, for example, if I wanted to increase my eligibility?
Absolutely, yes, you can. And then that's the preparation stage, if I can call it. If many of the customers can accelerate their payments, if any credit card, they can live without it, so they can be ready to increase their eligibility, or else they can ensure that that down payment is well saved and they plan for it for quite some time. See, it all goes with the preparations. Yes, they can increase their amount, but it depends on how to plan and settle down liabilities to increase their eligibility, if you can call it.
Okay, so we're looking at first-time buyers, for example, in the UAE who are eligible for 80% financing up to. So what would the remaining 20% typically cover?
It's the core question comes to the down payment. The 20% covers the down payment, and it's very important to plan for it. But it's very important also that for all the end users to understand, and for the investors, that there will be associated fees to it. There will be the transfer fees, there will be maybe the agency fees and all. It's good to plan for it, which I estimate is going to be between 5 to 7%.
So they're going to need the 20% plus the 5%?
Exactly. Which comes, it's the enabler for you to have the property.
What's the biggest misconception that first-time buyers have about getting home finance?
Yeah, when you talk about the home finance case, it takes so much time. It's not. If it's well planned, if the proof of the income is well documented, most of the banks today, they have all the data. I can tell you, all banks are equipped. In ADIB, we are well equipped. We understand how the income is coming. We have better visibility on all the aspects of the income versus liability. But it's very important to know that if you have any variation on the income, that should be well documented, well proven. So at least for the bank can process the case without any delay.
Okay, and in line with that, would there be a piece of advice that you could give for anyone preparing for, I guess, their first home purchase?
Plan it well and don't ignore the down payment. And this is what I can tell you. Do not search for the property first. Ensure that even if you don't buy the property, ensure that your finances are in order. Check your credit bureau, check your credit scoring, and plan for that stage. You never know when the opportunity comes. It can come at any time. You don't wait for it. But when it comes, it's very important to grab it. And how to grab it? By being ready financially and not to run and creating stress for everybody. And then at the end of the day, it creates frustration that you miss that opportunity because all those planning stages that you skipped and you run behind it. So it's very important to plan it well, ensure that it's in order, you know your limits, and then chase and then hunt for the right opportunity to come.
Okay, so before I start, dream scrolling, I need to plan the finances. So if someone's goal is to purchase a luxury property, for example, the Karl Lagerfeld by Taraf property in Meydan, super luxurious, what are the considerations that they should have in mind?
See, in my opinion, Casey, the financial readiness has to be assessed carefully. See, because when we buy a luxury property, it's not only the property that's luxury, it's the common area, it's the qualities inside, it's the community, it's location. So it's a combination of all, and this is very important for all the investors whenever they buy the property to think through all these checklists, and then the most importantly, whenever they approach the bank, the way of assessing the luxury property, it's totally different, but it's very important to know and to address it in a proper way.
And any last words of advice for prospective home buyers in Dubai?
The real estate sector, Casey, is I would say is one of the most safest and stable investment choices for the residents, and not only for the residents but for the global investors as well. Supported by many of the government initiatives, we know how it's important for our GDPs as well. Housing scheme programs coming into play. I can only see opportunities, and those opportunities are there to be grabbed by the end users and for the investors as well.
And in your opinion, Elie, why has Taraf, for example, seen such an uptick in interest?
Multi-factors, in my personal opinion as well. It's pertaining the quality of the construction that they are in it. They do develop in niche markets as well, and they have chosen one of the best locations across Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So, and then the most important is the completion of the projects is they are on time. So they normally, when it comes to the completion date is mostly being honored on time.
I feel like that's music to customers' ears. What a positive note to end it on. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Casey.
We really appreciate your time, Mr. Elie. Thank you for sharing those valuable insights on home finance eligibility and financing strategies for first-time buyers and investors alike. The conversation shows how the right knowledge can open the door to incredible opportunities. Thank you so much for tuning in, and make sure to join us next time for more insightful conversations on real estate, lifestyle, and everything in between. See you on the next episode of Lovin Real Estate.